second quarter of it. So we know that Li and Yang of Chinese Taipei await the winners of this upcoming match on court 1. Just the 1 seeds left in this particular quarter of the draw. So on paper, Hoki and Kobayashi should have a decent run through the quarterfinals, but as I said at the start of today's show, the Chinese pair they're about to play beat them as recently as Saturday. Just a slight delay. We actually had a match on court 2 finish literally a minute before ours on court 1, so they had to do their entrance of the officials and then the players. But our officials are now on court, as you can see.
And now, please welcome Takuro Hoki and Yugo Kobayashi, Japan.
So here come the Japanese. This should be a real spectacle of a match. 2 attacking pairs. It is 1-1 on the head-to-head, and there you see that match from Saturday, so just 5 days ago.
You choose red, black for you.
Went to 3 games. The win for the Japanese pair was at the
You want to serve or receive?
quarter-final
Serve.
match.
You serve.
Also went to
Who's
3 games. That was
you go receive.
back in March. So let's give you some information about this court. That's starting with the Japanese pair of Hoki and Kobayashi. They are ranked 6 in the world. They have been up on top spot, actually. September of 2022 is when that first happened. And they are former world champions back in 2021. First ever Japanese men's doubles world champions, in fact. 6 world titles, or world tour titles, I'm sorry, they've won. Notably, the World Tour finals 3 years ago. Have to go back a year, though, to find their last tournament victory. That was in Singapore last year. So, Hiki Ting, 26 years of age, as you can see, ranked 8. That's their best ever. And they come in flush with confidence after winning the Singapore Open last Sunday, where they beat Alfian and Ardianto in straight games in the final. And you think that their first tournament win was as recently as November, the Japan Masters. Then they won the Thai Masters in February. As I say, victorious in Singapore at the weekend. They've had a very, very good last few months. Man in charge of this one is Satyawal Mahadu of Mauritius, and his chair umpire Cynthia Tam from Australia. What do you reckon then, Jeff? An early opportunity for Hoki and Kobayashi to get a little bit of revenge over the pair that knocked them out in Singapore at the weekend.
Yeah, I actually commentated for their semi-final match in Singapore, and to be honest, it looked like Hoki and Kobayashi were actually in control in that third game. And then the Chinese kind of just brought it back and got all the momentum. So
Ready to play.
I think well within the Japanese reach to win this match. I found that Kobayashi was kind of the standout out of the Japanese pair.
Remember the first time I saw them, I think it was in the German Open, maybe in 2018, something like that. And they just looked like they were going to be a young pair, obviously then, early 20s, that were going to go a long way. Defensively, I just thought they were phenomenal. You know, considering it, two relatively small men, 5'5", 5'9". They were as good as anything I'd seen in terms of the way they defended.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, He Jiting and Ren Xiangyu, China. And on my left, Yugo Kobayashi and Takuro Hoki, Japan. Ren Xiangyu to serve to Yugo Kobayashi. Level black.
So here we go. This men's doubles, round of 32.
Service over, 1 love. Love.
That's a really clever shot. Excellent from Kobayashi.
3 love.
Great start by the Japanese here.
Can go two ways when you come into a tournament off the back of a victory.
4
Can either
love.
just totally inspire you and you come in full of confidence. Sometimes there can be a bit of a reaction though. Obviously it makes it a long week.
Yeah, so fatigue can definitely settle in because they played all the way until Sunday last week.
Service over.
At the same time, this was a semi-final lineup in Singapore last week, and this is just the first round. They have to face off straight away. No getting used to the conditions, it's straight into the hard matches.
Yeah, so basically Hoki and Kobayashi haven't had that much more respite than their opponents, really, just an extra day.
2-4.
Short trip though from Singapore to Jakarta. It's just about 80-90 minutes in the air.
Hoki winning quite a few of these front court exchanges so far in this first game. That's good defense by Kobayashi. And really good variation in that attack. So Kobayashi one to the center between the two players. So that was one before that, and then one wide, and then one back into the center. That's where he's really strong. He has some really good variation in his attack. excellent interception there.
They look seriously up for this, don't they, the Japanese pair already, only after 3 or 4 minutes on court. Obviously stung by that defeat last weekend. Irony being, of course, that the tournament win for her and Ren took them into the top 8 in the world in the ranking. So next tournament, if they stay there, this wouldn't be a round of 32 match because they'd both be seeded.
Out. Service over. 3-8.
Good attack there by Ting. That backhand from Kobayashi just too short, too flat.
Service over.
Japanese looking really confident here. I think compared to last week in Singapore, the playing conditions are definitely a little bit easier. The drift not as pronounced, especially for a fast game playing style like the Japanese. They're always pushing quickly to the rear court, flat pushes, flat lifts, which easily go out when there's too much drift. I think they're feeling a bit more comfortable than they were last week.
Well, the net court gave them the initiative in the rally. But they've been much more the proactive pair in this early exchange.
Service over. 5-10.
Can't believe he's missed that,
6,
Kobayashi.
10.
Yeah, some really good defensive drives from the Chinese in the last 2 rallies. Has forced an error from the Japanese at the front court.
So a handy lead,
Service
5
over.
points for the Japanese
11-6.
pair. Mid-game interval.
Interval. Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Players on court. Ready? Players on court. Eleven six. Black.
No doubt you can hear a lot of cheering. There are 3 courts
11.
in the arena. We've got an Indonesian mixed doubles pair on court 3. And that's why the crowd getting very engaged with it. Well, did the hard bit and staying in the point. It was wonderful defence initially from Herman Wren, and then fairly simple shot ends up halfway up the net.
You can see the intent there from Herjiting though. He's really just stepped into that smash. I think what's going to happen now is the Chinese are going to try to push forward a little bit faster and try to win the flat exchanges and the net play. That's where the Japanese have been gaining the initiative. Oh, that's really good vision there from Hoki though.
14-7.
No question they've been the dominant pair. Any kind of net exchange this match so far. Only 8 minutes in, it's been quick. 8 minutes for 22 points.
And the Japanese still sustaining that attacking pressure on the Chinese. And that's where the right-left-handed combination really comes into effect there. Cross-court smash from the right-hander. Hoki opens up Kobayashi on his forehand. Well, that's good defense there. And
hit the line.
Perfect placement there. Japanese really switched on.
7.
So focused.
Service over. 8-18.
Well taken by Herjiting here. Lucky net cord was in a really good position to put that one away. A little bit too loose from Hoki there.
9-18.
Well dealt with by Herjiting at the front court. Chinese need to string a few points together here, even if they can't take this first game. Get some confidence moving into the second.
May not happen though, because
19,
just a couple of points away.
9.
Japanese pair, and a somewhat surprising scoreline. Obviously, they're the seeds, but after losing to these opponents at the weekend, we expected them to have this kind of a lead.
Game point
11 game points
9.
now for Hoki and Kobayashi.
Well, that's a nice shot. Well covered though.
12 minutes was all it took. 21-9.
First game won
Real
by
statement of intent
Takuro
from those
Hoki,
two.
Yugo Kobayashi, 21-9. Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds.
So let's see if Hoki and Kobayashi can
Second
continue
game.
the way they left off here
Level.
after a really dominant display
Play.
in that first game.
Ooh, nice flick serve to start.
1 love.
Once again, the noise volume goes up on court 3. How difficult is it, Jeff? You must have experienced this when you're playing on a court and there's a whole welter of noise from a different court. Because I would have thought it would be seriously
Service
off-putting.
over.
Yeah, I think when
1
someone watches a
all.
match like this where there's lots of noise, there's two things. The first thing is that you can't actually hear your shot come off your racket. And in training, you're so used to hearing the sound of your shot. And you kind of underestimate how much kind of feeling that gives you when you can hear your own shot. And the second thing, as a doubles pair, you can't actually hear your partner. So you might be calling to your partner, hey, go for this shot, I'm going to hit straight, I'm going to hit cross, etc. But you can't actually hear them, so it's hard to get your formations correct as well. But at the same time, when it's on a different court, the noise comes at a completely unpredictable time. You could be lining up for your serve, trying to concentrate on where you're going to serve, and all of a sudden there's such a loud noise and it can put you off. So I think playing in noise is one thing, but it's when it's time for another court, that makes it even harder. Left-handed, Kobayashi just takes that forehand shot easily. Sometimes it's hard to remember when you're midpoint, when your opponent is left-handed, hitting straight into their forehand there.
Service over. 3 all.
So seeing a little bit more of an even exchange of who's winning these flat contests now.
Service over. 4 3.
They're really good interception there from Hoki to give the Japanese the attack. Really battling for that front court yet again. So important in men's doubles. And here's your team well read there.
Service over.
As soon as you can see that Hoki's coming a little bit low with this shot. See this forehand, she's taking it quite low below the net. It's got to hit up into the racket of the Chinese with interception.
5 4.
Error judgment there, serve was good.
Service over. 5 all.
Nice return of serve. None of the pairs have been up by more than 1 point in the second set. A little confusion there from the Chinese. Shot quality from Kobayashi was okay. It wasn't spectacular, but just in that position where it was a little bit awkward for the Chinese to work out who was going to go for it. And with the noise here in the Astoria, not really easy to hear your partner as well.
Seven, 5. Hoki, you want to change your shuttle? Hoki, 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 Hoki. Do you want to change your shuttle?
Not hearing the umpire.
Okay, play on.
Doesn't want to change.
No, it says let
7,
on a
5.
Maybe he was just ignoring him.
It was one of the few moments of quiet, wasn't it? Actually no noise, ironically, from court 3.
Service over.
Nice shot
6,
from Ren. Just finding
7.
the gap there. That shot from Hoki.
Play on.
Now Hoki wanting to change the shuttle, but Ren saying no. And that little bit of drift
Service over.
going that long ways direction,
6.
pushing that shot from Ren out the back. We haven't seen too much effect of the drift today, though. So I think it is quite minimal. That's a great
Service over.
placement.
7,
That smash.
8.
Just right down the left side of Kobayashi. Great follow-up attacking pressure here from Herjiting at the net. So 1, 2.
Eight all.
Yeah, I think initially he was planning to leave the serve, thinking it might
9, 8.
be short. Then he played it, but from that point they were second best in the rally. But much, much tighter, obviously, in this second game. A little bit more than a couple of points in it.
Nice shot. Kobayashi, great rotation by the Japanese there.
Service over.
Coming forward and then taking speed out on that
9,
last shot.
all. Hey, play.
Nice variation from Kobayashi from the rear court there. Taking speed out in that first attack. That one there, that slice,
10,
then went hard, got Hoki
9.
involved, and then back with a really good angle across the body of Ren there. That's what I really love about Kobayashi's attack, is that he has such good variation, such good vision in where he wants to place the attacking shot. Chinese have found Kobayashi's kind of weak spot in that defense, though. They have been aiming it at that left hip on various times. That spot right there has won, I think, 3 or 4 points at least, attacking Kobayashi on that side.
It's long, and the Japanese have a
Service
slender
over.
lead in the big
11,
game break,
10,
but in the second game at the moment, on a knife edge.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Coach, thank you. Coach, you can do it. Players on court. Players on court. On court. (11-10). Play.
Well, a challenge
Hoki,
here
Kobayashi, challengers.
from Hoki and Kobayashi.
Called out.
I think one seemed rather keener than the other, but we'll see what Hawkeye makes of it. Out by a big mark.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge winning. Service over. 11 all. Play.
Great serve.
What a sneaky
12,
serve.
11.
Flat drive serve. Oh, nice shot from Hoki. That shuttle
Service
is
over.
coming straight down with speed.
12 all.
So it doesn't float at all. It just comes straight down. Just so hard to retrieve. Well, that's a nice interception there. Surprised the Chinese a bit because he kind of
13,
just poked at it.
12.
Got it at the last split second. Able to control it
Play.
so close to the sideline. And such proactive movement here from Hoki. He's played this block here and he's charging towards the net. Right now he's charging there. Hurjinting needs to play such a high quality shot, otherwise Hoki will be all over it. And just forces that error.
So a surge here from Hoki and Kobayashi just after the mid-game break. And Ren had to stay switched on here, otherwise this match could get away from them quickly. Net cord was a big bonus.
Service over.
For the Chinese player then.
13-15.
What a drop shot from Kobayashi. It gave him that put-away smash.
Service over.
You can see he's checking that baseline a few times before he actually plays that shot, but it's so tight. And that return from Ren, far too short. Easy put away for Kobayashi in the end.
Play. Service over. 14-16.
That's a really good shot from Ren Yu.
16.
Hoki completely by surprise, I think. So back within a point now.
A good run of points from the Chinese here. They were starting to look like they were getting kind of outplayed a little bit. They've really put some scoreboard pressure back on the Japanese now.
16 all.
Yeah, beautiful placement. That's landed in the back corner box of the doubles court.
17-16.
Hoki here, right in the back there.
Service over. 17 all. Service over. 18-17. Play. Players, you're taking too much time. No delay, okay? Service over.
Well, nip and tuck in this
18.
second game.
Oh.
A bit harsh there from chair umpire Mahadu. I mean, he nearly got through 2 games in 31 minutes. However, this is the business end. Pressure more on the Chinese pair, obviously trailing.
It's a nice return of serve. Oh, but a broken string there, I think, from Hoki.
18.
And that could well cost them this game. Could be an absolutely pivotal point, that.
Such a good opportunity with that return of serve, but unfortunately that string breaking has luckily caused that error into the net.
Looks like it will be a turning point. 2 game points now then to level
18.
for her and Ren. Level they are, 21-18. That net with the broken string was a key point, and it's 1 game all in this men's doubles.
Ren Yu, 21-18, 1 game all. Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Final game, love all, play.
Well, I wonder what's in store for us then in this decider, because they look, the Japanese pair, to be in control for a lot of that second game. Didn't get the job done, and that would have given her and Ren some newfound confidence, you would think.
Service over, 1-all.
Yeah, to be honest, when the Japanese were up, I think it was 16-12, it looked like they had all the momentum. They had a lot more energy, spring in their step. Then all of a sudden, some quick points from the Chinese, now right back into it.
One. Service over. 2-all.
And that attacking play, finding Kobayashi again. The Chinese were getting quite a few points from attacking Kobayashi compared to Hoki in that second game.
That's nicely placed.
Service over. 3-2.
Great drive there from Kobayashi. Set up by a good return of serve from Hoki, though.
Service over. 3-all.
Great attacking play by the
Service
Japanese
over.
here.
4-3.
Good interception from Hoki there twice. The second time able to put the shuttle away. So important that the Japanese keep the attack. Oh, that's close.
Yeah, they are challenging.
Goal
Not surprised.
out.
Did look very adjacent to that line. So Hawkeye will decide if that ball gets overturned. Close, but
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining. Service over. 4-all. Play. Service over. 5-4. Play. Service
Think
over.
twice about going for the foot
5
serve
all.
next time, Kobayashi. If that was summarily dismissed.
Great defensive shot by Ting there
6
into
5.
the open court. Good put away by Hoki there.
Service over. 6
So
all.
good sustained pressure in the attack from the Japanese. Need to see more of that. It's a really tight affair for this third game.
Service
I
over.
admire the way the Chinese pair have kind of worked
7
their way back into this match. They were
6.
second best by distance in the opening game. But they've definitely improved. I just feel also, Jeff, that Hoki and Kobayashi's level has dropped a little bit from where they were early on.
And there's a service return error there from Kobayashi. I find they're making it's a lot harder for them to get the initiative now. The Chinese are probably a lot more on the ball in terms of the flat game. So they're finding they have to really battle in the flat game there. That's a great shot by Hoki though.
Service over. 7 8. Play. Service over.
Very quickly onto that.
9-7.
Oh, that's pretty wild by Kobayashi there. I feel like
10
the Japanese are just
7.
starting to lose a bit of confidence there. Maybe getting a bit impatient. On the first smash there, I'm usually used to seeing Kobayashi being quite patient in his attack, but he's kind of gone for something pretty wild on the first shot.
Service over. 8-10.
Well, this has turned around, hasn't it, this match? Chinese pair now looking the stronger. They've got a 3-point lead at the mid-game interval. And they'll change ends, obviously, momentarily. And they'll feel pretty confident, you would imagine, at finishing the job. 11-8, Herman in front.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Coach, return to your chair. Thank you. Players on court. Kobayashi on court. (11-8). Play. Service over.
So a roar from the Japanese
9,
after winning the first
11.
point after the mid-game interval. They really need to get some fire started, get some momentum happening for them.
We weren't making those kind of errors earlier.
Service
That
over.
could be very costly.
12-9.
It's just an unfortunate error because the Japanese were in control of that rally. They kind of had the initiative there.
Service over.
It's a nice attacking play,
10-12.
keeping the sustained pressure on He Jiting.
Play. Service over. 17-10. Run. 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 Okay. You should not chop to the opponent, okay? You should, okay? 13-10.
The umpire was just inferring. He then was having a little word in the Japanese ears there. Don't think there's any kind of major problem. That's long.
And the Chinese are questioning whether it's hit Kobayashi's racket.
No. There's that.
Japanese dismissing it right away, and so has the umpire.
11-13.
I don't know if you can get a view of this.
I didn't get that impression, but
Sorry, I meant Hoki. Don't think that's hit his racket.
Play. Out.
careless.
Service over. 14-11.
The thing about that is, I mean, even if it had just literally flicked it faintly, it's almost impossible for the umpire to see it. Sometimes you hear it, but
Not in this story. You can't hear anything.
No, exactly.
Fault.
Great position of that smash there. Quite high right hip of Hoki this time.
15-11.
Good succession of attacking shots by He Jiting. Maybe Hoki thinking maybe it was going to float out.
Play. Fault.
Another high smash there. He Jiting once again
16.
really effective there. So Kobayashi waiting quite low, but then one comes quite high towards the body. Really hard to adapt to that speed when it's coming right at you. Oh, he's missed it.
This match continues the way it's going. I think Hoki and Kobayashi are going to be very, very disappointed in about 5 or 6 minutes' time, because they were kind of controlling it at one stage. And they just seemed to let it get away. And no question, her and Ren have upped the standard that they've been playing.
Players,
But,
you're taking too long.
I think this is much
Get
more
ready
valid
quicker.
from the umpire. Ren was a little tardy, but they'll be delighted the way this match has turned around. The two in red. Just 3 more points required now.
18-11. Quick toweling.
Yeah, the Japanese have really fallen away from this match since kind of later on in the second game, where we thought that they were well in control. All of a sudden, all the momentum with the Chinese now. Quite a lot of unforced errors from the Japanese.
Ball. 19-11.
And now the game speed of the Japanese, as they kind of lose more confidence, is just decreasing. Chinese just finding it a lot easier to read the shots, intercept like that.
Just feels like they've almost hoisted the white flag here.
20
Japanese pair.
match point.
So 9 match
11.
points for her and Ren.
Service over. 12-20. Game.
Well, very one-sided, surprisingly so, in that deciding game. 21-12 in favour of her and Ren, and that despite losing the first game 21-9. So no revenge for the Japanese pair. 2 wins in
Match
5
won
days
by Jiting,
over Hoki and Kobayashi for the Chinese, and they will advance into the round of 16 tomorrow. Just seem to rather capitulate in the latter stages. The 2 in blue. So deserved success for the new Singapore Open champions. They come through 9-21, 21-18, 21-12. 52 minutes is the official match time. This is our home through until Sunday, the Istora Stadium here in Jakarta. Two excellent matches so far, both of which have gone to 3 games. So what about Jung Yi-man against Carolina Marin? Back to the women's singles. Marin is the 3rd seed here.